Hello everyone! Today we read the favorite subreddit of everyone I know, Malicious Compliance. Please like and subscribe the video because I really want to get 5 more subscribers till the end of the week so I can hit 80 subscribers. I know it sounds minor, but for me it's a big deal. We're not allowed to say it. Okay. Years ago, I worked in a prep kitchen for a small chain of restaurants. For background, when you pick up a knife in restaurant kitchen, you're supposed to say sharp pretty loudly, so that other people rushing around know someone is walking around with a knife. Anyways, we had 2 kinds of knives, large chef knives and paring knives. There were only a few paring knives, not enough for everyone to have one at their station. At some point, one of my co-workers started referring to knives as sharps, and so I started calling the paring knives baby sharps, and it caught on. This led to people asking across the room, "Who's got a baby sharp?" Well, my boss was a massive bee. She, for some unknown reason, didn't like us calling the paring knives baby sharps, and said so on a few occasions, but nobody cared. To be clear, nobody ever sang baby sharp do 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 or anything like that. Well, one day, she was in a particularly bad mood and yelled at us, "Nobody's allowed to say baby sharp anymore!" Cue Malicious Compliance. That afternoon, I was home and photoshopped a little cartoon face, bonnet, pacifier, and a diaper onto an image of a paring knife. I took the image of a custom print shop and had them printed on a baseball cap. We were required to wear hats at work to keep stray hairs from falling into the food. I only worked there a couple months after this because I found a better job, but you better believe I wore that baby sharp hat to work the next day and then every day for the remainder of my time there. The boss never said anything to me about it, but I know it pissed her off. OP. Now you know what I have in my head? Baby sharp do 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 do, baby sharp do 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 do. Okay, the next story. My husband cleaned the work bathroom. My husband is a very skilled outdoor tech for a big communication corporation. He's been there 34 years. He was doing some online safety training in office. A 20-something inside engineer, we'll call him Skippy, told him to go mop the bathroom floor. My husband refused, stating it's not covered under his job title. Skippy begged to differ, said the floor was muddy from the boots and his management, so he can order people to do anything, which is not true, of course. Hubby got an idea, stated okay, he would go do it. He went into the mechanic area, grabbed the power washer, put in lots of cleaner, and hosed the bathroom down, ceiling to floor, including the paper towel, toilet paper, magazines, and the crappy chair they stored in there. Husband went back to his online courses, Skippy went to the restroom and came howling at my husband about soap being everywhere. It was a huge mess, blah, blah, blah. My husband replied, anything worth doing is worth doing right. If it's not cleaned enough, he'd be happy to put degreaser into the power washer and clean it again. Skippy had to answer to his second level and is now refusing to speak to my husband. Well, if it's not perfect, malicious compliance, I don't know what is. The next story. This is not a mistake. Last year, I was ordering an upgrade for the server room at work. It was a large, expensive upgrade that cost over $500,000. If you have ever had to call a manufacturer to order equipment at this amount, you may know that once you get a good reputation with a manufacturer, they tend to cut red tape for you to maintain a good working relationship with your company. I, in the past, have bought equipment for my personal use at home, and it takes forever to get a rep on the phone, and they often screw you on the deal. While I was making the order with the manufacturer, I inquired about getting personal equipment. to see if it would be possible to make a separate order for myself with my own money. The rep had no issues with it and was happy to make the second order. He placed both orders and even gave me a company discount for my order. Now I did make it perfectly clear that the second order was a personal order and not in any way connected to the corporate account or order. He confirmed this and the order was locked. A few months went by and the equipment showed up in the loading dock at work and everything was in order. However, my order never arrived at my house. I attempted to contact the manufacturer but got put on hold for hours. I gave up for now and figured I would try again in a few days. The next morning, the equipment showed up. It was an exact match for the equipment that was sent to my work. Now, keep in mind the order I placed for my house was a blade server that was just over $6,000. This was not what I ordered. I went into panic mode as I cannot afford this equipment, and when they bill me, I will be screwed. I checked my bank account and found no charges yet. Now I'm really panicked as now I think they billed it to my company, effectively double charging them. I expect I will get fired. When I returned to work after my weekend, I mailed billing and got a copy of the invoice. Well, they didn't bill my company for the equipment sent to my house. Now I'm really confused. So at this point, I drop it. It is a pain to get them on the phone and I can't call the corporate line when it's a personal order. A month later, I got an invoice in the mail with a late charge for failure to pay. Okay, now I can get this fixed. I see they want $6,000 plus $250 for late charges. That's odd. I called the retention number and got a rep. I gave her the account number and she told me she needed to transfer me to a manager due to the amount. Okay, cool. The manager picks up the phone and I try to explain the bill is wrong and the equipment they sent me wasn't what I ordered, and he immediately cut me off with, "You need to pay the invoice. You're in violation of the contract and we will sue you if you don't pay it immediately." I tried again to explain the equipment issue, but again he cut me off and demanded I pay. So I told him I would take care of it then. I said sorry for being an inconvenience and I will call my bank right away. I then confirmed the bill amount and the part order number from my equipment labels. He confirmed it and said, "See, there was no mistake." And as I was about to hang up, I know I heard him say in a smug tone to someone else, "That's how you deal with poor a-holes." Called my bank and got them to unblock the transaction. It was stopped for fraud alert. The amount was paid. I am now the owner of a $500,000 server room in my basement. A few months later, I had to order some more connectors for the fiber lines and spoke to their rep again. I inquired about buying personal devices again since the last time went so well. Apparently, they cannot do that anymore. Something about a manager fraud investigation. Can't imagine what that's about. Honestly, I think this one can really come back and bite you in your booty. The next story. Teachers didn't understand how question marks worked. Back in high school, whenever we had a test, the teachers would say, "Interpretation is a part of your evaluation." Meaning, too bad if you don't understand what a question expects you to answer, I cannot help you. At the same time, there were teachers addicted to using a question mark at the end of every activity in the test, even if it was an imperative sentence. Dumb example to illustrate. Instead of "name 3 elements of periodic table," period, it said "name 3 elements of the periodic table?" question mark. Whenever I found one of those, I'd simply answer, "Nope." After all, it seemed to be asking whether or not I would name whatever. If the teacher didn't give any points for it, I'd argue that interpretation is part of the evaluation. and I answered the question. Sometimes I didn't get 100% on case like this, but a solid 50%. Good enough if I didn't know any elements on the periodic table. Eventually, the teacher seemed to notice what they were doing and started using question marks properly. Well, a perfect example of a student giving a lesson to the teacher. Thank you for listening. Please like the video and subscribe to the channel. You can also watch this awesome video or this awesome playlist. See you next time!